It's a name so synonymous with the essence of India that it has become the most obvious butter on our breads. One of the master chefs behind the utterly butterly delicious recipe is Mr. Jayen Mehta. Mr. Mehta's journey at Amul began in 1991 when he joined the company as a young manager. Early on in his journey, he recognized the potential of India's dairy sector and the need for a cooperative model to empower rural farmers. Under his leadership, Amul not only strengthened its presence across the length and breadth of the country with the popular Taste of India and Amul Girl campaigns, but also expanded its product portfolio beyond milk, butter, and
Ma'am, every word of yours is watched very closely nowadays, ma'am. And I can say this, that even when she was spokesperson of the BJP, Ms. Nirmala Sitharaman never spoke a word out of place. And as Union Finance Minister, she's measuring every word, because every comment here will be measured by the markets, companies, private sector and foreign investors. So she said something which I think has great significance. I don't know if you saw the recent comment of Vladimir Putin about the Indian economy. Did you see that a few days back, what he said? He said, Nirmala ji, that India deserves, this Vladimir Putin, I think a couple of days back, viral story, India deserves to be considered a global superpower, according to Mr. Putin. And he cited India's fast-growing economy and our ancient culture. So I think this is an incredible statement coming in, and it's an expression of his belief. Do you think the world will respond to us differently as we grow? I always wonder about it. Now we may be an object of interest, then investment, then curiosity, then competition, and then people think it might get ugly. Will it always be possible, in your view, for India to navigate on one course without being attached to a bloc? This question in my mind in the context of our dramatic decisions vis-a-vis Russia after Ukraine. Can we continue to be non-aligned? And if so, how far? We have leaders like Trump coming in who believe in building tariffs, who say anyone out there who attempts de-dollarization, I will put 100% tariff on them. Very, very protectionist, very aggressive. So will things change? Again, it's a follow-up of the previous question, but will things change in your view?
I'm not sure we'll ever in India change from being non-aligned. The expression may change.
We've been exporting to more than 50 countries for the last several decades, but now we thought there's a chance and opportunity for us to get into fresh product business. And that's how we launched fresh milk in the United States a few months back. It's doing very well and it's got into mainstream with a unique product, which is like our Amul Gold full cream milk, 6% milk fat, which nobody in US ever imagined that you can have a milk like that, which is doing very well. And the same thing, we realized that Europe is a market where there is a large number of Indian diaspora, and we need to find a way to enter that market. So we have tied up with a local cooperative there in Spain, and we'll be very soon launching our fresh milk range, and followed with buttermilk, curds, and a lot of other fresh products also. So this is way in which the brand gets global. More importantly, the Taste of India gets global. We are able to address to the Indian diaspora and eventually create a market for Indian milk also around the world.
It's interesting, America is known as the land of milk, honey and money. And to be exporting milk to the land of milk, how did the idea come? What triggered you into thinking that, okay, fine, there is a market there for Amul, for Indian milk?
So that again, the taste comes in there, and milk which they are used to is the cow milk, which is maximum 3% fat, and people under the fear of consumption of more fat go into skim milk, which is 0% fat and 1% and 2%. But the taste buds never go away anywhere, and the Indian diaspora obviously loves the creamy milk. There was a gap in the market. We found a very right partner in a cooperative there, and that's how we said that let's experiment with this idea. Fortunately, it worked very well because the entire marketing mix was in place, and today, as I can tell you very happily, that it's part of the mainstream US milk business. So you are right, the way in which we are going about right now, moving out of not just with the ethnic stores of India where you buy your typical Indian grocery items to the mainstream, I'm very confident in a couple of years down the line, Amul will be the only pan-American milk brand.
So are we going to see the ad Amul Doodh Pita Hai America?
Of course. That's actually a validation of Amul Doodh Pita Hai India, and it's a very logical extension as well.
Right. And when we are talking about all this jargon, brand, global reach, market, research, we forget that the real owners of Amul are farmers, particularly women. Yes. About 3 million of them.
Yes.
And they have one buffalo, two cows, and they are supplying milk, and they are owners of Amul in a way.
Absolutely, you are so right, because since you've been in Anand, you understand that anybody having a cow and buffalo across the country, likely in Gujarat at the moment where we are, can become a member of a dairy cooperative society. So 3.6 million farmer members, most of them women, are the owners of Amul. They collect close to 310 lakh liters of milk every day, which is collected through 18,600 village cooperative societies of Gujarat. There are 18 district milk processing unions who are affiliated, who are owned by, again, these village societies, and processed at about 107 plants within Gujarat and abroad. And we are marketing it through the network of the Gujarat Cooperative Milk Marketing Federation, as you rightly mentioned, through a network of 87 branch offices, more than 20,000 distributors, 1 million retail outlets. 22 billion packs of Amul products are sold every year. This is the single largest consumer brand in terms of sheer number of packs sold globally, and a turnover of 80,000 crore, which is $10 billion. And the largest, not just food, but also the FMCG company in the world, and now ranked as the strongest food brand in the world by independent research, strongest dairy brand in the world. So the journey of Amul, which started with just 2 villages and a few women, actually has made a big transformation, not only for the livelihood of such a large number of women, but as a country, all of us take pride that our brand stands right at the top in the world. And this is what a model of a cooperative can do. Right. And this is what is a game changer for the nation.
Amazing. Actually, the crisis I was talking about, India was milk deficient, and we did not have enough for ourselves. And we were importing milk from places like New Zealand and Denmark and whatnot. And now when he mentions that Indian milk is available in American market, you're going to Europe. In fact, there is this interesting bit. In general parlance, जब जैसे मस्का लगाना बोलते हैं आजकल, तो पुराने ज़माने में बोलते थे पोल्सन लगाना, because Polson was a Dutch brand.
No, it was a brand owned by a Parsi gentleman, but he named it English sounding thing so that the initial customers in the pre-independence era were the foreigners or the Britishers. So he wanted to make it sound appealing to them, and that's why the
So
name
this thing about not trusting your own names, that is something which Amul has made possible.
Absolutely.
And you mentioned that there are some plants outside India also?
As of now, we are processing it in the US. We'll start soon in Europe also. So that's how we are building up a network of facilities within and outside the country.
And within India, how has been the journey? So Amul is typically seen as a Gujarat brand originally, but now I can have Amul products anywhere in the country. So has Amul set up plants outside of Gujarat, or is it just a franchisee model where you are having state cooperatives and lending your brand to them?
No, we have at the moment 107 dairy plants out, and within Gujarat there are only about 35. We are the largest brand of milk and fresh products in Delhi, for instance, since we are here. And there are 6 plants which are owned by our own district unions who are selling milk, procuring milk from around Delhi and processing it and selling milk in Delhi. So same applies to Bombay, same applies to Kolkata, same applies to almost 180 to 200 top cities of the country. So we are both local and global. We give the benefit of Amul model to milk producers outside Gujarat also. We work together with the local state cooperatives within the entire country and keep the market of cooperative brands stronger in each of the respective states. And that's how together the Amul model actually spread outside of Gujarat through the Operation Flood model across the length and breadth of the country, which made India the largest producer of milk in the world. So cooperatives have a very strong role to play, and not just the Amul model in Gujarat, but everywhere in the country you have a local cooperative brand which is very strong. Next door, Saras in Rajasthan is very strong. To Nandini in Karnataka, Avin in Tamil Nadu, Verka in Punjab, Sudha in Bihar. Every state the cooperatives are doing very well, and that's why we are all proud that India is the largest producer of milk in the world. 1/4 of the total milk in the world is produced in India. Many of you may not know that milk is the largest agricultural crop of India. So India में जितना दूध का उत्पादन होता है, which is more than 60 crore liters a day, the value of output is 12 lakh crore rupees. It is more than the value of output of wheat, paddy, oil seeds put together.
This is for the entire year?
Entire year for the entire milk which is produced in the country. So more milk is moving from unorganized to organized sectors. Cooperatives are gaining prominence. There are cooperatives in about 2 lakh villages of India. And India has about 7 lakh villages. So the new Ministry of Cooperation has given this mandate that we should have 2 lakh more village cooperative societies in the balance 5 lakh villages of the country in the next 5 to 10 years. So what happened in 50 years of Operation Flood since 1970 to now is going to happen in the next 5 to 10 years. So more milk will come in the organized sector, more cooperatives will be part of every village of the country, every panchayat of the country, more women will be members of this cooperative. And today, as you rightly mentioned, if the women own the Amul brand, the money which we pay as consumers, if you spend 100 rupees on Amul products, 85% goes back to the farmer. So,
85?
Yeah. So
of every 100 rupees?
Yes. So this is the highest ratio anywhere in the world. A milk producer in Europe only gets 1/3 share of a consumer's dollar. Same in case of Europe, in say, New Zealand, Australia. But in India, it's more than 2/3. So this is the power of economic empowerment through cooperatives, providing livelihood with dignity in the villages. And I heard a question about SDGs in the previous session. Dairy cooperatives and this model actually takes care of most of the SDGs. So this is the power of this model, and that's why the new Minister of Cooperation is encouraging cooperatives in different spheres, creating more cooperative institutions to support the country, the economy of the country, use it as a model of women empowerment also. And all the money also goes directly in the bank accounts of women. So it is not just a notional or a symbolic ownership of the brand, it is also in form of money directly credited to the bank accounts of women.
Jayen bhai, are there studies to prove that wherever Amul exists, at the village cooperative level, not Amul as in the brand, but the organization, the women are more empowered, and hence the families are more empowered, and the girl child education is better, and the level of the quality of life is better because the women are empowered?
Yes, absolutely, because this is an empowered woman actually takes care of not just herself and the family, but the society also. And we've seen big transformation happening in lives of so many women, the quality of education, the socio-economic standards, the way in which they accept technology and adapt new technologies, and also run the business. So more than 1/3 of our village cooperative societies are 100% women-owned, women-operated, women-managed. So they are very good in managing businesses, like many of our students in MBAs are, and they are able to demonstrate not just dairy farming, but also looking after the business part of it. And I think that's the big success of this particular movement.
You know, as someone who grew up in Uttar Pradesh and then migrated to Gujarat, and the one difference I saw between the two societies was the empowerment of women. And that really reflected in a lot of other development statistics and parameters, less crime, more progressive society. Do you see Amul as a tool of societal change also wherever you go outside Gujarat?
Absolutely, yes. So as I mentioned, the model actually the Amul model was replicated in different states of the country. So the model is already there. We are also there in terms of, since we are marketing milk in different parts of the country, we are also sourcing locally. And again, the same model is also being put in place. You pay the right price of milk to the farmer, provide veterinary services, give them ownership, and also involve them in what you do. So this is definitely a tool of socio-transformation, economic transformation, livelihood, and respect. Not just women, but also the society.
Fair enough. And we haven't seen the best yet, because you're saying as of now, cooperatives are in about 200,000 villages, and you have a target of, as part of Operation Flood 2.0, taking it to another 200,000 villages, or more actually.
Yes.
One another aspect of the success story is the communication strategy. And I would say it is fantastic. How many of you would recall that Amul girl? See it, watch it, all of it, the entire hall. You know, last session I asked, how many of you have Demat accounts? Just about 55-60% said yes. But everyone has seen the Amul girl, and that's fantastic, because, you know, whenever I'm writing those top jackets or supers I have to write sometimes, you know, I think of that Amul girl ad,
Yes.
where everything is communicated with such brevity in 3 words.
Yes.
The latest one, of course, was the Buckingham murders, on which the play was
Yes.
baking with makhan. So how does it really happen? Like, are you part of that strategy? Like, you would have seen it closely.
Yes and no. Yes, because as a client, obviously we endorse whatever the agency comes out. And no, because the agency has full creative freedom to do what it wants in terms of wordplay, the theme, the messaging on its own. And I would be seeing the topical at the same time you are seeing it as a consumer. So we don't have an editorial interference in what the messaging is all about. This is perhaps the only brand in the world in which the client does not approve, quote unquote, the creative. And the agency has been given this creative liberty and freedom to publish it on billboards, in print, in social media. And we as the client who would sign the bill for sure would see it like the normal consumers do. So this is a unique part of this campaign, and that's how the agency has maintained the topicality of it. Amul Girl has maintained a place in everyone's heart, because whatever she says and speaks is what is the mood of the nation.
Yeah.
At times she is sad, at times she is happy, but it is not that she is talking to someone with any malice. She has the best interest of the country at heart, of each of the consumers at heart, and in a very cheeky, humorous, very light way, she communicates what is the mood of the
Oh,
nation.
you remember, like, it's of course the present mood of the nation, but you know, I could recall maybe 20 years back some of those Amul topicals. But moving on. So you're talking about villages, you're talking about women, many of them might not be educated, they are just taking care of one buffalo or 2 cows in their family, in the shed, in the village. And this fantastic communication strategy, which makes it such a uber cool urban brand in terms of brand recall. So my question is that what's next? You have achieved so many frontiers in the recent past, from United States to Europe now. What's next?
This is, to my mind, just a beginning. And I'll tell you with some numbers that Amul today handles 1/4 of the total organized milk in the country. But organized sector is only 1/4 of the total production in the country. So to put in numbers, we handle close to, say, 3 crore liters of milk a day. India produces 60 crore liters of milk a day. A big change happening in the mindset of the consumers post-COVID, for sure, is converting from loose to packaged and branded. Okay, and that is not just in milk. It is in buttermilk also, it's in curd also, it's in paneer also, it's in khoa also, it's in mithai
Because of the
also.
hygiene factor.
Hygiene factor. And that's where the organized sector comes in. And you look at it broadly, India also produces 5% more milk every year, but we're not looking at that 3 crore liters on 60 crore liters. But assume that 3 crore is 5% people shift from loose to package and branded. That's another 3 crore liters of milk, which is what our current volumes are. So our internal belief is you can add 1 Amul every year in India. And believe me, we are an 80,000 crore, a $10 billion brand, the largest food brand, FMCG brand in the country. But still, we are working with that ambition and aspiration that if consumers are shifting from loose to package and branded, and are not just in rural areas, in urban areas, everywhere, we have the opportunity to double actually every year, if we wish to, and if we have the will to. And of course, we need to develop a capability to. So I can be very, very assured, and I can tell you that this is a great opportunity within the country. Second, looking at the global dairy industry and the situation, what's happening globally, dairy industry is in a lot of pressure in all the developed countries. Today, we are producing, as I mentioned, 1/4 of the total milk in the world. In next 10 years, India will produce 1/3 of the total milk in the world. So here we have a chance as India to become a dairy to the world. Which means, Honorable Prime Minister, when he told a few months back that he wants Indian food brands to be on everyone's dining table in the world, dairy is a job for itself. It is very much possible for the dairy industry of India to be a dairy to the world. And that's why when you talk of global expansion and the models of doing it, it is with this particular vision that we can be on the breakfast table of an American to a European to a Southeast Asian country and build the market for not just the Indian milk, but the Indian brands, develop this soft power and actually dominate the world.
One interesting aspect that I see as a consumer, I'm not a business journalist, but I just observe things. So one is the plain vanilla dairy products like milk, buttermilk, and butter, and then you see that fantastic lineup of Amul getting into whey proteins, chocolate powder, and of course ice creams. It's a legend. So, though of course I would wish that maybe those products were a little more visible. I don't know why you have chosen just to put them on your website and not in general retail. So I should be able to get it on a Zepto or a Swiggy. Yeah. But still, how was this strategy planned to get into markets which are very urban, uber niche, catering to that kind of segment?
There are two insights to it. One, A, is the consumer insight. When people become more conscious of their health, and we know each one of us has to consume 1 gram of protein per kg of body weight every day. So it is not just consuming protein in form of a whey protein or a kala dabba which you are used to, but protein in any form of food items that you consume. But the maths has to be there that if you're weighing 60 kg, you need 60 grams of protein, and you do have maths every day. So we worked with this insight, and they said that milk is a superfood. Milk has all the good nutrients that you want, but when consumers are looking at macros, which is the fat, protein, and carbs, how do we get into their mind space? Second, it is very logical. We are the largest producer of cheese and paneer in the country. And so, obviously, we have the best quality whey available with us. And then if you use this technology to convert this liquid protein from the liquid whey into protein for the products like buttermilk, lassi, or super milk, which is 35 grams protein per 250 ml, then we have won the game. India will not need to import anything, and we will be utilizing our resources. I was in one International Dairy Federation's conference way back in 1999. I'll tell a very short incident, where one of the scientists said that today when you use milk to make cheese, you eat the cheese and throw the whey away. But a day will come when you will throw away the cheese and use the whey. And this was 1999, 25 years back. I heard it. The first soch was, I mean, how is it possible? I mean, cheese is so valued and we love cheese. But then once we started working on whey and the components of whey and using technology to break down the protein out of the whey and use it, we realized that we have a game changer. And that's how we have a big range of high protein products. I can assure you, today we are doing it only on our own shop.amul.com portal. It's direct to consumer because we are also learning how to be direct to consumers, not be dependent on the e-com things. Because today we know every single customer of Amul protein. And when I launch a new product, I need to just send an SMS or a WhatsApp and we get the orders.
But I'm sure at half the price?
Yes, it is half the price, less than half the price. But more importantly, it's quality. And the marketing line is only one word and one line that we need to consume 1 gram of protein per kg of body weight every day. Everybody does the maths. It can be a senior citizen. It can be a young child. It can be a gym goer. It can be a normal girl in her adult sense. Everyone, if they start doing it, we have won the game.
And you know what the scientists told you in 1999, our gaon ka pehlwans, they know it. So, they don't throw the whey.
Yes.
They drink it.
Yes.
And that's how they do the pehlwani.
But that whey cheese whey is only 0.6 to 0.9%. And what we consume is 8 to 15%. And that's where the technology of bringing out the whey protein and converting into a drink, which is affordable, which is tasty, because whey otherwise is not very tasty, and also affordable and available, which is you rightly mentioned.
Fantastic. Any questions in the audience? Yes, Smriti.
Very good afternoon, sir. My name is Smriti Mishra. Sir, as we all are journalists, our main focus has to be on the marketing and advertising of this entire brand, because milk is something, as you rightly said, as even sir was asking, the question, that milk is something which is there at the very grassroots level, right, in the villages where it is produced, and at the same time, parallelly, somewhere you're building the brand outside India in the world, right? So I want to know, I know that, as you said that you're indirectly involved in the editorial team. I want to know how Amul as a brand is bridging that gap, is able to build that brand where Amul is known in every household. At the same time, it is able to build that brand where outside India's milk is being represented by the brand Amul.
You asked a very difficult question, but the simple answer is that you need to understand what the consumers want and how you do it by leveraging the brand's association with the customers. Before that, let me tell you a fun fact, that we spend less than 1% of our turnover on advertising. Most companies, private, multinational, spend 5 to 12% of their turnover on advertising.
Amazing.
So this is where you need to work with a very frugal mindset, frugal budgets, but extend the brand in such a way that you are able to reach out to the customer, reinforce the message you want to do, have a portfolio of products which meet that requirement, and more importantly, it should not be your grandfather's brand. It has to be your brand, and that we have to continuously keep talking to every generation so that he or she of the next generation would be thinking it's my brand, it's talking to me, it is designing products what I want. Classic case is chocolates and dark chocolates. I mean, we are the largest brand of dark chocolates today in the country without spending a single rupee on advertising, because we were listening to every single customer. And that's how we said that instead of the sugary chocolates, let us get into a space which the young consumers want to be. Same is case of protein, same is case of organics, same is case of probiotics. So using technology, using science, using this bond which Amul already has with the consumers, leveraging the brand, and increasing its presence and distribution is what is a game changer.
It's amazing. We're wrapping up. Many times I pick up that Amul dark chocolate because of the fantastic cover, It's so beautifully made. Of course, the chocolate is also fantastic. Yeah. Thank you so much for this great session.
Thank you so much. Always a pleasure talking to you.
Amul, of course, would be part of India 2047 a success story.
Yeah, that will be the 100th year of Amul as well. Thank you so much.
Fantastic.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jayen Mehta and Abhishek, for that very interesting conversation. I'd now like to tell all of you that we will take a short break to have lunch and reconvene in the next 20 minutes. I want to say a quick thank you to all those people who made today's day possible. The 4th edition of the India Economic Summit 2024, presented by Adani, powered by Nippon India Mutual Fund, Wealth Sets You Free, co-powered by the Ravin Group, Bharosa Rakho, Surakshit Raho,